Money don't mean anything to me. Now I'm too old for money, and it doesn't mean a thing to me, money now. I don't want to sell it because I've got on years now, and we've had a very hard struggle to get what we've got. In depression days, we're flat out trying to get our rent, so I don't feel like shifting anywhere now.
I came to Brisbane in 1954, and at that time George Street looked after the needs of Roma Street Fruit Market, which has now gone out to Rocklea. Then there were thousands of people on any one day in George Street. It was a thriving area of people and little shops, and that's where friendships develop. That's where people are in close contact with people.
It's not only buildings that make a city, it's people that make a city. And I think that basically the city became a development for commerce. There was very little consideration given to the real needs of the city of Brisbane as a community centre.
Also in that demolition were a lot of little shops, and in particular there was one boarding house where people had lived there permanently. It was their home for the majority of their adult lives. Well, what has happened to those people?
There's also a lot of the people in the artist colony in Little Roma Street have felt a great sense of displacement.
One of the loveliest parts that I can remember about the Trades Hall was the dance hall. It was beautifully situated right in the front of the building, with balconies overlooking the city, and in the summertime it was just beautiful to come out on the balconies and see over the city. Demolishing a building, but ending almost a lifetime of working class involvement around that particular building.
Well, my idea of progress is probably no city over 500,000 people, where the needs of the people of that city are paramount, where the arts can flourish, where debate can flourish, where there's beauty in architecture, where the old is kept, and where there is respect and love for nature. There's no real people enjoyment that isn't artificially stimulated, like mannequin parades and brass bands. You cannot even buy a cup of coffee there unless you've got a banknote. In 500 years' time, the people then will be looking at these cities and saying, why did they think like that? We will be objects of historical investigation on why people then lived in cities like we do, because we don't live in them.
No cheap rents up around here now. That's one up in them days, and to make it worse, there was a waterside strike, and they were all out too. On the corner of our street here, the poor things, they couldn't pay the rent, and they used to lower one another out through the windows on sheets so that they wouldn't have to meet the landlord.
Probably just for nostalgic reasons, I missed the Blue Moon skating rink, which was on the south side of the Victoria Bridge at that time, and beside it was the Cremorne, where I used to go to see the vaudeville shows. Most of the fun that we had was at the Trocadero. Well, the first dancing that we did was at the Trocadero, because that was the place to go. That was where all the Americans were, and that was where I learnt to jitterbug.
In the period of my youth in Spring Hill, you had a great deal of population where people walked from Spring Hill and the valley into the city. They walked home again with their families, or they hopped on the old trams that run in those days, and it's actually, they brought life back into the city. There was nothing unusual for you to be able to sit out in the middle of the valley or parts of Spring Hill and have a cup of tea or a meal or whatever it may happen to be.
Oh yes, we tried to canvass for all them houses before the main roads put there. There was no indoor residentials and boarding houses down there. Even that poor old frogs down there, Mr. Croc. This used to be a water hole, you know. The dark people used to come up there for water.
I think there are still possibilities. Maybe if people can show that they want a city that reflects the climate and its people, that we can express our opinions. And I think what's happened around the development of Riverside, or the thoughts about the development of Riverside, show that that's possible.
This is not a city. This is a collection of random spaces. Bomb craters without a wall.
silent testaments to progress. Soaring blank walls, bare blank windows, golden glass towers reflecting other glass towers, more cranes, more bricks and dust disturbed, another cityscape devastated. This is not a city. This is no longer a place for people, their faces becoming cheerless ciphers, their pace a heedless scurry, dodging old work crumbling, landmarks falling to demolition balls, hedging around new work rising, footpaths shattered or destroyed. What used to be here and here? Didn't people live and eat and breathe where this building soars? This is not a city, merely a collection of random spaces, the remnants of the shell.
Well, I think I'd be like a good many more of them already. They generally die when they move from this street anyhow. Probably at my age I might just join them.